And we are staying with this particular story and now speak to Wilke Dias, who's the Decide Executive Director. Dr. Dias, thank you so much for your time this evening. Firstly, things seem to have been quiet somewhat from what we were being told by people on the ground. What's the latest?
Good evening. For today, we have three principal topic about the situation in Mozambique. The first, it's the situation for those days calm at the most part of the cities, but we have one other problem for now. It's the members of Podemos party are the target in some regions in our country. Like, for example, in Sofala province in Buzibandwa, we saw some videos on one social media network when people put the fire in the house of the members of this party. In Podemos, it's a party from Venancio Mondlane. And on this evening, last evening, we saw some residents, in particular in Zambezia province. We have some other houses of the members of this party are some persons put the fire in the house of that persons, and the commander of the police in Mukuba and in the Gurue are arrested illegally persons, or the people said it's from Podemos. So right now we have this problem. It's I think it's the political pursuit. Because it's not the first time. We saw 3 or 4 days ago one other member in the Sofala province are killed, alleged by the police after one kidnapping, and that person disappeared for 2 days. That is the first thing I can say. And the second thing, it's the report or the statement of the SADC region. I think the last statement, so yesterday, make a mention of the people dead during this whole process. But the really question is why now? What now? This organism make that statement, because we have more than 2 months during this process, and we don't see anything about that whole process of deaths or the people enduring that after the election, post-election process.
So listening to our Council of Churches here in South Africa, they met with the Christian Council of Mozambique that has also expressed concern about the situation, but seems to be hopeful that a meeting and getting all the different sides together may be able to resolve this. And we saw the efforts there, but Venancio Mondlane not attending that meeting with the president. So if there's now a targeting, as you say, how difficult does it make this process of these churches who want to get everybody on board and try and find a solution? How difficult does it make that whole process then?
I think maybe the only problem is to talk about the dialogue. The church talk about dialogue only now. The church in Mozambique, all churches, they have a good paper in all this process. But it's very important to talk about the dialogue before, not after. After, it's important, yes, but I think before it's most good to try to solve that problem. Right now we have one most big problem, and to try to push the all actors maybe will be more or less complicated, because we have Venancio Mondlane in one part, and he's afraid to come to Mozambique, and after that the police arrested him, and that's it. So we have the other side, the one party or don't give any signal to negotiate or to dialogue. That is the correct word. And only person we see is the actual president of the Frelimo party. Maybe the Catholic or the church in Mozambique, and with the other actors or international in some regions in our continent, maybe together try to create some channels to that dialogue, and to put the other international actors in the same table to try to mediate that conflict in Mozambique. I think for now the Catholic Church maybe have that paper to move the other actors to try to put in the same table.
Is it possible though? And I ask this because you think about the fact that the Constitutional Council decided to make the decision that it made, which upset quite a number of the protesters who were saying that they did expect this particular result for them and it didn't surprise them. So if then there is this kind of loss of hope in some of the institutions there, when these bodies then come together, who do they meet? Because there does seem to be a lack of trust in some of the institutions.
Yes, I think the Constitution, the Constitutional Council is the last action to give that decision about the results. But I think it's possible to try in the other ways to change that paper. If you look, for example, we have the other international laws, we have the other international institutions, we have the other international actors, and I think in one time of this, maybe we can find some way to change that position. Because we saw so many irregularities, and maybe, or if you look, for example, to the Constitutional Court paper after the statement with that all process, electoral process, we'll see that the same Constitutional Council said we see so many irregularities during this process. So now I think maybe together with the other actors, if we look for the international laws, it's possible to find some way to solve that problem in our country.
And what are you hearing on the ground finally about the protests? Because we know that people are talking about a bleak Christmas and how difficult things have been even around the festive season. But of course, concerns still mounting that maybe we might see a fresh wave of protests. Is it possible?
Yes, I think maybe in the next days we'll see the same movement like we saw in the last weeks, and because it's the time, maybe in 2 weeks, the Daniel Chapo take a place the presidency, and that's it, the dissolve process, and maybe we'll see this worst situation because the most part of Mozambican people right now relax during this week, because it's the one festive week. But I think tomorrow, Venancio Mondlane will speak about the next step of the next demonstration level, and maybe maybe after that we can see what will happen in our country. So we need to wait what Venancio Mondlane will say tomorrow.
All right, let's see then what he says and what then begins to be yet another chapter in the story. But thank you so much for your time. That was Dr. Wilke Dias there, who is the Decide Executive Director.